Welcome to the 2016 Sidchrome project car. Each month, we are taking you behind the scenes of an innovative, handcrafted car build. And for your chance to win this beast, simply purchase any quality Sidchrome product and enter your details at winwithsidchrome.com.au. This is George, the boss man at Python Vehicles. He's been building Cobras for 30 years and he puts his products to the test on the racetrack, taking on some of the world's best sports cars.
This is going to be one-of-a-kind Cobra.
The man responsible for hand building the Sidchrome project car is Joe. He's George's trusted mechanic and has a real passion for his craft.
If you can't do it, get out of the way, because I'll do it.
And I'm Telfo, editor of Street Machine magazine. I'm here to document the madness.
Can you do me a favour? Let me do the work and you go make some phone calls up that end of the shop and leave me alone.
Done. I'm out of here. Done, dude.
G'day, welcome to part 3 of the Sidchrome Cobra build. We're down here at Python Vehicles Australia with George. We're very excited because the motor has arrived.
Finally.
This is the first time these guys have used this motor. Mate, tell us what it is, where it's come from.
Telfo, look, we're excited. It's the first time Python has fitted a 5-litre Coyote engine to one of its cars. So it's going to be a situation where we're going to have to do a bit of R&D at the same time as building the car.
Yeah, I'll run the alternator here. The steering will sneak through there.
So basically this is the same motor you get if you order a brand new Mustang from Ford Australia. Ours is going to be a bit more specky than that. So as you say, there's a lot of R&D now because you've got to get the computer in there. It's got to talk to the custom gauges. It's got to talk to the quad throttle bodies.
Yeah, we've got a lot of figuring out to do. Because the engine's not running a power steering unit or air conditioning unit, so it's very limited on the front of the engine. So we're going to be setting up an alternator for it. So we'll have to run a remote oil filter. Behind you here, we've got the Tramac gearbox that's going to be going on the back of that. But as you can see, the shifter is a lot further back, and that's normally where a shifter would be if it went in a traditional car. But because our engines are set a lot further back, we're going to actually pull that shifter out and move it forward of the gearbox so that we can have it in a position, a more comfortable seating position in the car. So as you can see, there's a lot of R&D, but there isn't anything that we can't do in this shop for this car anyway.
The wheels and tyres have arrived, which is very exciting. They're a bit different to the normal mag wheels you'll see on a modified car. Obviously, they're a lot different to your normal 5-stud wheel, George. So what are the considerations?
Well, look, what we've decided to do is something different. These are what they call the FIA rim. These predominantly were used back in the 60s on the FIA-approved race cars. And you can see you've got the little tri-wings there. They're what we call the knock-on, or the knock-on nut, so to speak, or it's a knock-on, in the respect that that spinner actually holds the wheel onto the hub. And the hub has been designed in such a way that it's got a 5-pin drive that holds the wheel. It's surprising to think that something like that will hold that sort of horsepower, but it does.
Well, it's a very cool traditional look. You can see the car is looking super fat with the wheels and tyres on. What's the next step? I'm getting pretty keen. Can we start driving it soon?
No, look, we're excited too, but hold your horses, mate. What we've got now that we need to do is we'll fit the body onto the car, we'll run the wheels through their travel to make sure that we've got a lot of clearance there. Once we do that, we'll all be happy that we haven't created any dramas by putting on these special wheels. And the next thing we'll do, we'll make you very excited, Simon, and we'll get stuck into the engine and gearbox.
So then we'll know that nothing's going to hit, the wheels and tyres aren't going to foul on the body.
Absolutely.
Body comes off again. And then we set up the driveline.
Correct. Did we get everything for the box? Did we get all the right stuff, do you think?
Well, I hope you've ordered the right stuff, but I'm waiting on the bell housing.
All right, so we've got a bit of a hold up with the engine and the gearbox. We haven't got a bell housing, we haven't got an inlet manifold. But in the meantime, we've got to push ahead.
Yes.
We have this beautiful diff here, but there's no drive shafts.
Yes.
What's the go?
Well, we custom make our own drive shafts because the Mustang rear end and the Ford diff that we use, obviously the cars are much wider. So we've made a little sample shaft, the length that I need, and I'll send that to our engineer. He's going to spline up some custom-made shafts for us. And once that gets back, I pop them in, and our rear end's done. But yeah, I will sit the engine in, regardless of having a gearbox and everything. I'll sit it in and get some clearances. So I'll start dumbing up some engine mounts and things like that. So it's not as if I'm just going to be sitting idle.
No, it's fantastic to think we're going to have one of the most iconic 60s sports cars, but it's powered by this brand new 5-litre Ford motor. We're going for throttle bodies. What are you going to do in terms of air cleaners? Is that still a bit of an issue there?
It's always an issue with these things here because we have very little bonnet clearance. So once the engine's in place and I sit my manifold in place, then I can start working out bonnet clearances and things like that. But you know, just about every car that we've done, we've always had to make up a little custom scoop or modify the bonnet slightly. But we do it in a way that it still looks like a genuine sort of Shelby. So it's a process of elimination, one at a time, and we start going for it.